Good evening, all. Great to see you here. We're getting ourselves a little bit organised. Got caught out a little bit today with getting things organised. I think the days are flying. I think there's not enough hours in the day. But anyway, we are up and running, and it's great to see you all there. Great to see Declan back, and Dennis, great to see you coming in. And Gary, yes, yes, which because you're suffering from the fairies is always good evening. Yes, sorry, we're flying, Dennis, yes. And Dennis is here to great. Okay, um, this is our July challenge, and we're going to show you the slideshows and the images. I'd like to thank you all most sincerely for entering because it takes a huge amount of effort. I know the backstory on quite a few of the images, and a lot of people had struggling trying to get it organized, as we all do. This is a new technology that we're all trying to learn, and it just takes us a little bit of time before we can get totally organized on it. So we have been very lucky this week because we have a guest again to give comments on our slideshows and on our images. So I will go over now, and we recorded it earlier, and we will listen to what our guest judge has to say. I can turn on the sound now because I won't hear the sound unless you turn it on there. Turn it on here so we can hear the sound. Don't put the sound on. They might be able to hear what we're saying. I don't know. Bring that inside and check it in the other room to see if the sound is coming through. Okay. Let's listen to it ourselves. Let us listen to the sound ourselves. Listen to the sound ourselves. Okay, folks, we seem to have Declan has put up a can't hear. There's no sound. Hopefully there, hopefully there's. Well, I'm streaming on my phone and somebody's trying to ring me on it as well. So just hold on. I think it's that was. The fairies are really getting the better of us tonight. That was Pat. Pat, you can't ring me because that's the same line as what we're putting out uh, the Wi-Fi on. It might not be enough Wi-Fi on my side. We have. You say you have lost sound. Okay. Um, Mary's going to. We've no sound. Let me think now how we can cope with this. Okay, that's looking good. And this is where the slideshow is. No sound. Okay, folks. Hopefully you can hear me now with me speaking at present. You can hear me, hopefully. Now, have we got sound? There's no sound coming through there. Oh, because that's not on. Has anybody got? We have no sound. First slideshow commentary. We have no sound on the first slideshow commentary. Okay, you're getting the slideshow, but you're not getting. Can anybody hear Mary speak now as she's speaking on the screen? Somebody tell me. Can hear me? That's great. Now, can you hear up on the screen now? We have Mary speaking. Well, she's not speaking at present. Or Nora, I should say. No, Mary. No, oh God, why? Yeah, there's something really gone astray here, folks. There's that. Gary, Sinnott, no. Dennis, no. I can't hear you, Peter. Declan, okay. Let's stop all of this and get the fairies in. Let's get the fairies into town. Okay. That is there. And okay, you can hear me talk now because I can hear I can see the thing. You can't see me. So in order to see me, you have to go that way. Now you can see me. So that at least bit is working. Now when I go to the desktop and show a slideshow. Now, Mary, you check to see if there's sound coming in here. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear the music of the slideshow. So that should be coming in. No, I can't hear. Declan, I can hear Mary. Oh, that's which Mary can Mary Gyrie or Mary Gallagher? Which one? Will you check the sound on that, Mary? No, there's no sound coming through there, obviously. No, you're not playing it. Why isn't it playing? Why isn't that playing? Can anybody, Declan, can anybody hear the music to go with the slideshow that's going at present? What's happened here, Mary? Now, there's sound coming through there now. That's loud. Can anybody hear the music to go with the slideshow that's going at present? What's happened here, Mary? Well, because the slideshow isn't moving, that's why. Would that be the problem? Yeah. Now I know you'll be hearing an echo because I'm listening to it here in the background, and where I am and where you are two different. But I'm surprised that you cannot hear the music from this video. Oh, I think I know why that might be. Is there any of these not? Turn everything on here. Audio. Now I know you'll be hearing an echo because I'm listening to it here in the background, and where I am and where you are two different. But I'm surprised that you cannot hear. No, I know it's gone black. This video. Oh, no, slideshow B should be coming. Why hasn't it caught up with slideshow B? Slideshow B should be coming. Why has it caught up with slideshow B? No, that's not going to oblige us. Let's go another way. We're going back to slideshow 1 now. Array. Let's go another way. That's just my little picture coming in. We're going back to slideshow 1 now. Array. That's just my little picture coming in. Now, do you know something? When the pressure isn't on, I will sort it. It'll be so obvious. That's me, the picture of me. You don't need that. And desktop is what it should be running. It's not picking up the sound from here. So, the echo you're hearing is quite okay. It's just it's running a little bit behind. Now, slides are giving us a difficulty to get it in. Insert. Now, Mary, it is absolutely wonderful to have you here as our guest judge today to have a few words about how our slideshows and our images are going. I hope you're looking forward to it. I am definitely. That's okay. Now. Now, Mary, it is absolutely wonderful to have you here as our guest judge today to have a few words about how our slideshows and our images are going. I hope you're looking forward to it. I am definitely, to see these wonderful images that have come in. So we leave it to you now.
Well, okay, I'm really looking forward to seeing all these images. From what I people the summer with your courses, Peter, so I'm really looking forward to see what they've done.
Okay, Mary, that's great. Let's hope we get through this without too many hitches. Sometimes the Wi-Fi does slightly drop out, but we will keep going regardless. And we'll start off by having a look at the first of the slideshows, slideshow A. Now, Mary, that was an impressive slideshow. What's your views on this one?
That's to me, that's an excellent slideshow. It really shows Dublin at its best at night time, especially over the Christmas period. It took some talent to be able to capture the lighting, etc. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I was very impressed with it, because that type of a photograph is quite difficult to do. Because you're trying to work with the people who are around to try and get the image, and technically it's quite challenging. There are a lovely set of photographs. I think that was a lovely slideshow from Slideshow A. So now I think we'll go and we'll have a look at Slideshow B. Quite interesting.
Yeah, it's a very good slideshow. It's one of these areas that I'm very familiar with myself, and it's very difficult to get a time where the roses are as perfect as they were in that slideshow. It really showed them. What do you think?
Mary, we just say the last sentence there. The Wi-Fi dropped out, so just maybe the last sentence we lost.
I said it shows the roses at its best. Sorry.
That's okay. It's just
Sorry about that.
I know it's not your fault. It's Mr. Wi-Fi. We all have trouble with Wi-Fi. We're not the only one. Just that bit dropped out. Okay, then that was. I was impressed. It was the music went along with it, and you almost went into a trance while you were listening to it. I found that quite an interesting one. Let's move on to the next slideshow now, and we will have a look at the next one. This is C. Well, if I started to play it, it would be C. Fairies again. Now, the slideshows, a lot of people put a lot of work into it. That was another nice one.
Yeah, it's really excellent. It's just some of the macro photographs there took a lot of time and patience to capture them. It's really showing nature at its best all over Dublin. It's surprising what we can find within our own 2 kilometres at one stage. So I was very impressed with that.
Yes, so was I. I think maybe we will move on to the next slideshow and see what the next one has to offer. Slideshow E. Now, that was an interesting one. That looks like is one of those ones that has been done on the phone
Yeah,
from one of the apps that's on the phone. What did you think of that one?
yeah, very impressive. It's totally different from all the other slides we've seen so far, in the fact that it has a lot more architecture in it. But the combination of nature and architecture is interesting. But it's amazing that they can do. How about you?
Oh, I think, Mary, we lost you there on the last two sentences. Maybe you go back. Just poor connection coming our side.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
no, because actually you froze on me there for a few minutes. Yeah.
just repeat the very last bit you were saying about that one.
Yeah, I was saying the combination of the architecture and nature was very interesting. It really shows us the south side of the city, which I'm not that familiar with.
Okay, then I think before the Wi-Fi gives us this north side south side divide, I'll get my back later on. Don't you worry. Let's move on now, and we'll have a look at the next slideshow. Slideshow F. That was a very interesting slideshow. A very nice fit of music and pictures and some stunning images.
It really was, and the lighting in those were is some really close-up shots, which is very difficult. So I was very impressed with it overall. I think it's one of my favorites so far.
Yeah, it's up there with them. It's up there with them. Let's see what the next person has to offer. Slideshow G. Sin ceart as Gaeilge. Very lovely music.
Yeah, the music was very impressive. It really suits the landscape in Donegal. There's some really good landscape photographs within that slideshow, and the lighting there was absolutely brilliant. What do you think, Peter?
I was very impressed with it. I thought
Are
we're
we frozen again?
no, no, you're not. You're okay. You're just frozen on screen, but your
Oh,
voice is coming through, which is the main thing. Yes, I was very impressed. I thought the music went beautifully with it. I thought with a lovely set of landscape photographs. Technically, they were coming through a little bit on the soft side, and that might have been from the system it went through or the resolution or whatever. But the actual content of the pictures and the quality was absolutely super, and I am sure if we got back to the originals of those pictures, they would be award-winning stuff. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff in it. But like all things digital and all things technical, there's always something to trip us up. But even in the fact that they were soft, they created a nice atmosphere, and the music went very well. Maybe they were meant to be done that way. I was impressed with that one. Let's go and have a look at the next show. Slideshow H. That was slideshow H. That now shows you what the north side has to offer. One of the real gems on the north side, and also free to go into. I've been going there since my father was bringing me there when I was very, very young. We've got poor connection now. Let's hope your voice comes through okay. What was your views about it?
Yeah, it gave a very good overall view of the gardens, which we're both very familiar with. There were some lovely slides of flowers there, which I was very impressed with. It's really, I think it did. It would be a good ad for the gardens because it showed quite a lot of it. So I was very impressed with the overall view of it.
But you'd have to be impressed with the north side.
Of course, yeah.
Of course. Let's have a look at what the next slideshow is. Here comes slideshow J. Oh, oh.
No, this one is trying to get there before everything else.
One is trying, one really adventurous one there, trying to come in, because you go from one extreme today. You're kind of almost. It was me. I got led into a mood that the music and the photographs were taking, and I forgot to press the button. So the story of my life, not pressing the right button, but it was a nice images and a nice music, and they were all blended together well.
They were. It's surprising how much we got to see of nature in the last few months. That really will be a great memory to have.
Yes, indeed. And I said we'll go back now and we'll have a look at that one that's over anxious to get playing. View from Holt. Let it rip. Now, I'm going to not let that run riot again like it did the last time. Short and sweet and punchy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really did. It has some fabulous landscape photographs there. And it captured the people as well, which is good.
Yes, I like that. Well, I know it was short and sweet, but all the important points are nice and punchy. Isn't it amazing the difference between the slow-moving ones? Doesn't the music and the pictures make a huge difference?
A huge difference.
And I also noticed myself as well that we're using the full 16:9 ratio, and some people are using it on their slideshows, and it does make a difference when it goes all the way out to the side, whereas in the past we used those other smaller size formats or ratios, but sometimes they can be a great advantage as well, because they create an idea from the past nearly, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's quite interesting, but I say everybody will have a different view, you know. Anyway, let's see what's to come next. We say hello to somebody.
Say goodbye.
Slideshow L. Okay, now we've got a poor connection because I am working with my phone for Wi-Fi, and somebody's trying to ring me. Wouldn't you know, in the middle of a live stream or when we're trying to do something? They've gone away now, so we'll have to we'll get to them in a second. So that was a very interesting slideshow, and it was obviously taken on one of those apps. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's some very nice landscape photographs. They cover a huge area. They've been all over the country, really. But I see it's done over the years, which is it's great to get them all together. No, it was very impressive.
That's very, very good. And the Wi-Fi just held out for us there. Let's see what the next one has to offer. This looks like another one of these many apps that you can get to make slideshows. It's made making slideshows so much easier. They're available on all sorts of different systems where you can make slideshows. And I think it's a nice use of our images.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives a very professional look. I think that slideshow is definitely someone that has come to one of your classes, Peter. It's definitely made plenty use of the leading lines. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah, it's great to hear that people are listening, and maybe they have to listen a couple of times, because I think over the last couple of months since the shutdown, I think all our members have started to learn a huge amount. I can say things now to people, and they have an idea of what I'm saying, and the questions I'm getting asked now are absolutely super, because very often it just takes to ask one question to finalize it in your own head, and we're moving towards the triangle of exposure and understanding what it's all about, and depth of field and whatever. And it really does help your photographs, because nearly everyone can take really good photographs within the group. They all have that ability. It's just making the technical things make it work at the end, but the eye and seeing the photograph at the beginning is the most important of all. Right, well, let's have a look at the last slideshow in our selection now and see what the next show has to offer. We finish this one first and go to slideshow N. That was the slideshow that we put up for judging, and obviously the last slide told you to go and put in your votes. Now, at the time you're all looking at this, the voting will have been closed and the results will be coming out shortly. So that was a very interesting show.
It was, and they're obviously very lucky. They've got some beautiful lighting in the various slides. I'm not very familiar with the park. It seems a beautiful place, but it probably is a combination of different parks. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, the one I was impressed with was the one at the front door of the flowers, Campanula, I think they're called. And yeah, and they were blue. If you went into a garden centre, there's hundreds of euros worth of plants, because they're mighty expensive, for relatively speaking, in a garden centre. And boy, are they impressive. So yes, I liked that show, and I know that was taken on a tablet and on a phone, and that's the way a lot of people are now operating, doing everything on their phone and on their camera, and there's nothing wrong with it, and that's the way it's going to come. There's a place for everyone. So there are the slideshows. Now everybody who's been watching has done their voting at this stage. And we will be announcing shortly who was the one that received the most. It's not the end of the world, but it makes it interesting for us, and it gives us a chance to upload stuff and whatever. It's nice if you have something in it. You don't have to win. It's just a matter of entering is the all-important part. So now, Mary, I think what we'll do is we will go and we'll have a look at the images that the people submitted. So we go and we will set that up now. Okay, then here comes image A.
Yes, I remember this image from the first slideshow. I'm very impressed because it's a very difficult thing to do is to get the right shutter speed to get that kind of lighting. Don't know, maybe they use a slow shutter speed or maybe high ISO. Be interesting to know. What do you think, Peter?
I know the backstory on a lot of these stuff because there were all lots of challenges from different people as they were sending it in, and this is a very small image up on your screen at present, and it was a technical challenge that we were having with it, and it's very much got to do with the size and whatever. So in order just to get an image in, we put this one in. The person could have gone and redone it, but we were running out of time, and they had put a huge amount of effort in at this stage because, like us all, things do go wrong, and we end up having to do things many times. So I am very grateful to all you people who put in effort, because it does take time, and that's what's happened with this one. And I know this has come from a RAW and has been processed into a JPEG, but the JPEG was made a little bit too small in size and needed to go back to and redo the images. They were redone on the slideshow that this person has put in, but we couldn't put that image into the competition here because there's a 10 megabyte limit on the actual size of image, so we were caught between two different spots. This will be of interest to people who are submitting stuff, and I know in the past we'd be talking about size of image and whatever, and we all looking up to heaven, but it's nice to know these things, and we've also learned that slideshows need a lot more than 10 megabytes to go in, and I changed the form afterwards, and we changed that, and other people told us things that were wrong on the website, and we changed them as well. This is a learning curve where we're all making mistakes and we're all learning, but hopefully we're going forward. That's a lovely photograph, very difficult to do, and it is quite a nice shot. So that's the backstory on that one. This is photo B.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I'm really impressed with this. It's a very nice macro. It's amazing the different shades of pink and the different kinds of texture. Just within one rose, it's beautiful and so well captured. What do you think, Peter?
I like it. I almost see this as a monochrome photograph. It's a pink monochrome. I was very impressed with those lovely lines and lovely texture in it. And I think the 16:9 ratio on this one really suits it, because there's nothing left in or nothing left out that isn't, and it really fills it. I'm really impressed. It's just so stunning and so simple and so nicely lit. This is photo C.
Yeah, this I really like this. As I said before, I'm not that familiar with lots of plants, but that always reminds me of the summer. But if I was to do that now, I might darken it up a bit. Would give a better contrast. What do you think, Peter?
I think so as well. It's a challenging one to work with, because sometimes less is more, and that's in an awkward spot. When I looked at it first, is that upside down? No, it's not. It's the person is looking up. They've also vignetted it out to the side. Now it complements the same shade as what the flower is itself, but a white out towards the side brings the eye. If they were to vignette, I would have preferred to see that to darken, to hold the image in towards the center. But it is a lovely image, and obviously it's one from their selection. So yes, it is a nice shot. We could change it around and modify it. It's nice to see it. It's a nice image. This one is photo D.
Yeah, this is an unusual image. Not quite sure. It looks very familiar to me for some reason, but I'm not 100% sure what is the main interest in the photograph. But the colours are wonderful. The contrast between the rock and the sky and the sea. It's obviously a fairly good day because the sea is very good shades of blue. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I liked it as well. It's a very, very simple photograph. As you say, it's hard to know what's the centre of interest in it. It really relies upon its shape and its texture. And there's nice texture starting to come in here. If there was more oblique lighting on it, it might be more dramatic. Maybe a different time of day, it might be slightly more dramatic. Now, with Horizons, their good Lord sent them, or the powers that be, or whatever, the men, the boys, the girls have decided that horizons are usually horizontal, and this one's slightly off to one side. That might be done on purpose to create a diagonal within the photograph, but it wouldn't take long to straighten that up in Photoshop. And then the other decision to make is, where does this line break the horizon? Does it break it there? Does it go up, or does it go lower down? And that can be achieved by going up higher or going down lower. You might be able to change that position. But it's a well taken technical photograph. It is very, very simple, and very often simplicity is the key to everything. This is photo F.
Yeah, this is a fabulous photograph. I'm just so impressed with it. Just to capture both the butterfly and the flower, the combination of the two yellows is just fantastic. There's so much detail in it. The only thing I could say, well, maybe it could be cropped a bit more on the right side, so the butterfly would be leading more out to the left. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I when I looked at it first as well, I noticed that as well, and it was when you pointed it out. Yes, a little bit may be off here because it needs space. You can't crop off this side because it needs space for it to go out into. What makes it really stunning is look at that lovely skid lighting or rim lighting that's coming around from the, isn't it? And the translucence of the light coming through. The fact that the two of them blend quite well together in colours, and yet you can separate them, as you were saying, is very good, is lovely as well. I might have darkened down this a little bit so that it's not competing with this being the centre of interest. I think this is a stunning photograph. I think it'd be, and to get that moment before it's take off and fly away, it's a lovely, stunning shot. Catches your eye the minute you look at it.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Photo G.
Yeah, this is a very good landscape. It covers all the things that you need to put in a landscape. It's well framed with the flowers, and you can see it's the depth of field is just perfect. You can see practically everything in the landscape. No, I think that this is really an impressive one. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I think it's lovely for a landscape, because a lot of us do landscape, and what this does is it shows foreground interest, middle, and foreground, and also the sky in it. It's used, as you were saying, the turds very, very well. It's a lovely, lovely photograph, and we'll have some challenges in coming up in the future with landscape in it. So this is the what you need for a landscape, and well seen, not just lifted and pressed, technically done very well in order to get that large depth of field into it from the foreground, because they're absolutely in the foreground to the background. Not a little bit of use of red here, but not too much. It's just a nice little blend. I think it's a lovely landscape. Photo H.
This is a beautiful thing, and they use the uneven numbers, which makes it much more attractive, and the depth of field in this is excellent, and they also have brilliant light. Now, it took a lot of patience to get that quite right. It just looks like a little bouquet of flowers to me. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, this is another one of those stunning ones, right? And and it really catches you. It's nice and simple. It's beautifully lit, nice flowers. The only little thing I would say would be this little blob here is just taking your eye down. A little bit of darkening there, and this bit here is dark, so it's not taken away, but you're brought in there. Lovely circular movement in it. I think that's a lovely, lovely photograph. Well seen by whoever took it. This is J.
Yes, this is very interesting photos. I'm not sure what exactly those are, but it's just a combination of the different textures, and you could keep coming back to something like that and finding different things within the wood itself alone. Yeah, I think it's very impressive. What do you think, Peter?
Yes, I wish I could. These simple photographs with texture and with light. Very often, we look at the big picture, and very often there's a nice photograph to be found in a small little bit of detail, and that is well seen. And the more of these types of photographs you take, which you find really interesting, and where people think there's no photographs, sometimes there can be real gems, and sometimes less is more, and something simple like this makes a very, very interesting photograph. I was just wondering now, I was looking at it, if that had been framed slightly different, and instead of the log going horizontally across the image, if it had gone diagonally, if all else failed, as I say, you're trying to be creative and you tilted the camera, I'm just wondering, would the diagonal create more movement and more magic in it? I don't know. It's just I'm only after thinking about it. I've looked at this now a couple of times, and it's only just now as I'm looking at it that idea crossed my mind. Other people probably will have other ideas crossing their minds. Yeah. So we'll move on, and we see K. Image K.
All right, this is one of the ones from Holt. It's a fabulous photograph, but the only thing I would say now, I've been trying, there's probably a little too much going on. Maybe if it was taken from a different angle, where you either cut out the houses in the back or the boats here to the front, but I don't know. I'm not that familiar with that part of Holt, so I don't know what angle would you be able to take it from. But it's very good the way the whole church is fitted into the photograph. I think it's pretty well taken. The sky and all that is beautiful. So what do you think?
Yeah, I was looking. Here we are using the 16:9 ratio as well, which was a part of the slideshow. I agree with you. There's a lot going on, and it's hard to know what really the centre of interest is. By moving one way or the other, you might be able to knock out the bolts in the background so that it gets hidden in behind the church. Maybe the person who was taking it wanted to get the contrast between the bolts and the church. It's very interesting because you can see the light is coming from the right hand side by the shadows that are being cast by the tombstones. A very interesting shot taken from a very interesting position. I like the use of the 16:9. I'm getting more and more used to this. I think we're being hypnotized because that's the shape we're seeing on TV and whatever. And in this case, it really does work for the full length of the church. So let's see what the next person has. This is L.
Okay, this is really nice. I love the circular lines on it, and the contrast between the sky and the water are beautiful. I really like the clouds. It's a very good effect. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I think so as well. What I like about this is they have used this little bit of foreground interest to hold you in the photograph. So as you're reading the photograph from top to bottom and left to right, when you come here, this is like a full stop, stopping you from getting out your idea of the clouds. Clouds can be super. A nice bit of line here. It's almost like monochrome again, as in this kind of bluish shade. So it's yes, a very nice photograph, very nice, well taken, and a landscape again. Photo N.
Oh yes, this is really nice. It's a very good image of what I presume to be mother and son. But if I was to do, maybe I'd crop out some of the sky, definitely, and maybe bring it more into the two people, because it seems to capture a really nice moment there. What do you think, Peter?
I agree with you. I think this is a very, very interesting photograph. The person who took this photograph, I presume, shot first and asked questions later, and that's what you do. And they have achieved what every photographer is trying to achieve: is they have achieved the decisive moment. And boy, have they looked at lovely circular relationship between them. But as you say, the photograph is in there somewhere. Now, the person, obviously, I know this was taken on a tablet. So it's quite. By the time they would have walked in, they were to crop in a bit closer. The image would have changed. They did the right thing in shooting first and ask questions later. If you were to crop into that size, it would depend upon how much resolution was in the image. Would it still stay together for you? Even if the grain or noise started to show into it, it might even make it a very interesting photograph. But that's what's happening. Lovely, lovely shape there. Now, if you take it as an overall picture, you can start telling a story about it. Like, were they sitting on the seat? Did he arrive by the bike? You know, so that's another way of looking at it. But if you look at it overall, this big area up here in the top is really taking your eye up into that. So could you maybe crop across that way, make it into a long, narrow, skinny photograph like that in cropping? Would that bring it back? Lots of people who are looking in at this now to say, well, maybe we could do this or that or the other thing. So that's what I think these sessions help people to do. They're only suggestions as other people see it, and you can agree or disagree, or maybe you totally disagree and you see another way of doing it, and that's the magic that works, because you have to go and have a look at all these images and come up with your own views about it, because it's all personal. You know, what one person likes, the next person may not necessarily like. So that's the last. Oh, sorry, there is another. Oh, I forgot. There is another image. This is the last. Oh, this person will never forgive me. Oh, the fairies got to me, and I wasn't. They didn't want to be seen. Anyway, this is photo P.
Yeah, I really like this. I love the leading lines leading up to the door, and the combination of the wood and the red colour really draws, and especially the fact that there's the door and two windows, the combination and the trees, as you're always telling us about, Peter. What do you think?
I like this one. I'm really impressed with this one, because it's one of the few occasions that I have seen where a vertical photograph, an up and down photograph in this format has worked so well, because it really needs that. This person has been very brave in doing a vertical shot like this, and it suits it absolutely perfect. And it's a long, skinny type one. They've left out anything that's here that would have caused trouble or whatever, and a lovely circular curve going on here. I really like that photograph. And now that is definitely for the fairies, and that is definitely the last photograph in the selection. So thank you very much for helping us to go through these and have a discussion about them. I hope you've learned something, because I definitely have from looking at other people.
I learned an awful lot, and I'm so jealous of a lot of these people that are taking such good photographs.
Well, I would like
to try and catch up.
Yes, you can. You can always start, because, you know, and remember, they're all different levels of people in there. So we might be judging with a more advanced type level ideas, where the person might be only starting. So it's all relative. You know, everybody can learn something from it. So I want to thank you most sincerely, and I'm sure everybody else does as well, for coming along and helping us with this slideshow. And we have done this little judging so well. We did it twice. This is our second time, because the first time we went and did this, somebody, I'm going to blame the fairies, but it was really me, did not hit the right button. So we all make mistakes. So I want to thank Mary for coming back for the second time to go through all these images again. And we are very, very thankful to you. And hopefully we'll see you again on one of these judging sessions.
Maybe. Never know.
Yeah, never know. Okay, Mary, take care, and thank you very much.
Welcome.
Now, what did you think of that? A great lot of work and effort put in there. We had those technical hitches at the beginning. I'm having a load of those technical hitches. Even when we were putting this show together with Mary, and didn't she do a great job? That is not easy to do. And I think it created a nice little combination between what she was saying and what I was saying. Um, if we bring in a judge who does judging all the time, we will obviously let them do all the talking. But if anybody else would like to do this in any one of our ones that we're doing, we would only love to have you. It's great to have our own people doing stuff. Often when you do things like this, you often learn a lot yourself, because you have to think about the images in a way that you may not have previously thought about it. And as I say, I'm very, very thankful to Mary. That was our second time to do it. I also hit the wrong button on that occasion, and we went through the whole show. It's quite a long one. It's 40-something minutes long. I thought it was only going to be 20. See how wrong I was. Got to the very end, and the record button hadn't been pressed, so we had to come back and redo it, and poor Mary had to come back and do it a second time with us. And she was very patient, and I'm very thankful. As I say, we are all learning, and when something goes wrong on us, we can kind of correct it, and every time we get it that little bit better. We found that quite difficult to do, because we were trying to get the sound, and we weren't getting echoes and whatever. So next time around we might be even more better at doing it. Right then, so now you're probably wondering who did what, and who had who ended up with the best favourite photograph by those who had voted. So I suppose we will first go and we'll talk about the images, all right, and let you know who owns them. Image A was from Barney. Oh, I can push this up as full-size images for you. Image A, come on, image A was from Barney, and I told you the story about that. This was B, and B was Mary McMahon. And this one was C, and this is Etna's. This one was Susan's one. This one was Maura's one, Maura Furlong's. And this one, I'm very pleased to say, was by the great Pat O'Leary. And it's great to see a newcomer coming and entering into our competitions. He did send in a photograph earlier on when we were doing the live streams, but it had arrived after the time of the stream, so it never got used. So Pat, that's a lovely photograph. The next challenge will suit you down to the ground, the August challenge, because it will be landscape. The next one is Bonnie's, and the next one, J, is Irene's. And the next one is the great Gary Sinnott's. And here comes a relatively newcomer as well, Salam. I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong. Selena. I'm not great on names, but thank you very much. It's great to see you coming in. The more people we can get into these little live streams, the better, because this is the way our photography is going to be taken. And obviously the next challenge coming up will suit you as well, because there is landscape in it. And this one was taken by Patricia the Great. And I'm really thinking about this one. I think that was a lovely photograph. Patricia always seems to see a very, very interesting photograph. So that concludes. Oh, I did it again. I did it again. The fairies really don't want me to talk about this image. All right. And this is Agnes's. And I'm really impressed with this one, because this is Agnes's a brilliant attempt at putting in an image for her first one. And she put it in off her phone, and it's great to see, as I say, new people coming along. I've got 3 or 4 people in a little group now who are just starting to get into the system, trying to learn this technology. I'm going to start another group shortly, put 3 into each group. I have 1 for it, so I'm looking for another 2 people to join us. Now, you have to say that you know nothing. The people who have been doing this challenge up to this would know plenty. This is for people who are really, really struggling. And actually, when you do get to them on their computer, they actually know an awful lot more than what they actually realize that they know. Okay. So, which one was the one that got the highest vote. Well done, Maura. Super, super shot. Um, image F, and it is a super shot. Well done. So that will be going on the home page of our website, and it will be going up onto Instagram as well. So now let's go and look at the slides. I'm not going to go through all the slides again because it takes quite an amount of time. I'll just tell you whose they were. The first one, where you saw the cityscapes, that was Barney's. The next one, B, was Mary McMahon. You might ask why it doesn't follow in letters, because some people have slides in but not images in, and images not slides in, and I don't use the letter O or the letter I because they are confusing. So that was Mary Max. The next one, C, was Etna's. E was Sir Patrick Gallagher, and done on his phone and with one of the apps. Very good. The next one was Maura Furlong's one, which was the one with the nice nature one. And then the next one was G, and that was Pat O'Leary's. Well done, Pat. Super great to see that coming in. And then H was Bonnie's, and J was Irene's. K was Gary Sinnett's, and Salima, I'm probably saying it wrong again. Salima, who Mary's helping me here, was this one here. And where are we at? That M was Mairead Gallagher. Mairead, you do listen to what I have to say about leading lines, and it's nice to pick up a little topic, something like that. And N was Patricia Devlin. All right, so they were the people. Now you're wondering which slideshow got it. Yet again, Maura, you have it here again. And yours was by far and away the most liked and most voted upon slideshow. So we'll be trying to get that up onto our website and onto our Instagram. It'll be a learning curve for us. So well done. So that's the story. Thank you very much for having the patience to stay with us. Sorry for the technical hitches earlier on. I hope you all enjoyed yourself, and get ready for the August challenge. There will be 2 images in the August challenge, and there's nobody listening now, but one of them will be landscape. All right, and it will be black and white. So I will also do a little tutorial before the event about landscape, and we'll go back and we'll be talking about the type of stuff that we were doing when we were on our live streams during lockdown, and talking about depth of field. So I'm going to do a little tutorial about doing landscape, and that will go up before the event, and you'll be taking the landscape photograph within the month. So keep your eye out for something that would be nice. You can do it on your phone or on your camera. So once again, I would like to thank everyone for their efforts and help, and particularly Etna and Pat, and of course Mary Gary, who put a lot of effort and time in and patience to put up with me trying to get through it, and I think she did a wonderful job. So take care of yourselves, and we look forward to seeing you in the next stream. Take care, and thank you for watching.